friends. Welcome to the Jerry and Skeeter podcast, where we talk about everything and anything we want. If you enjoy the podcast, feel free to subscribe. Now let's begin with today's topic.
Spooky sessions. Number 3.
Woo!
That was
Good morrow.
The English teacher. Not to be mistaken for a teacher who's in England, but one who teaches English.
I fucking can't believe both of you. I painstakingly put on a mustache and a hat to be English. Like,
I normally wake up at 2 in the afternoon. I've been up since 9 in the morning, so like,
listen, don't
give me a
blame
break
me for your insomnia.
I don't have that excuse because I'm usually awake before now. But that's just my personality. So you get what you get.
I had to take my sweater off because it's too fucking hot.
That's fair.
It's too hot in here.
That's not the accent you should be doing.
Here.
Oh man.
I never said I was gonna do an accent. Oh, well, I guess I did.
You did.
Okay, can we start with the coffee mugs? Because goddamn, you
Okay.
need coffee and you guys.
Coffee right now. I'll go first.
Thank you.
So I actually found this coffee cup at a local it's like a peddler's mall. So like
Ooh,
where
I like
people
those.
sell a bunch of stuff.
It's like a flea
For
market.
50 cents, and I almost sent it to Jerry as a joke, but I think she would have gotten mad at me, so I didn't, so I kept it for myself. But here it is.
Is that a marine mug? She would have broke it. I mean, you got it for 50 cents, so it's money well spent if she gets to smash something. But like, if she would have 100% broken it. Oh my god.
like you don't know how badly I wanted to send this to her, but I was like, no, she'd probably unfriend me.
I think she would have just broken it. But that could have been therapeutic, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was 50 cents.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what the entire government's worth, so.
All right.
Actually, less than that because we're negative. But
I was gonna say, we defaulted on all of our loans, but anyway.
When I was your age, I was Green Berets.
You wanna go next?
No, you're okay.
Also, I kind of dressed up as a Marine. I couldn't get my green one to fit, so I just threw on my
Ma'am, your
gray
hair
one.
is not in the correct style.
It is for PT.
It's out of regulations.
I'm in
Out
PT
of
gear.
regulations.
Oh, you're PT ready.
How the
Got it.
fuck you are?
I should have. I almost.
I was in the Corps.
I
I would have been wearing a green t-shirt.
I almost ran out to the car because in my Malibu, I still have a fucking glow strap.
You disgust me.
Jerry had a burn party. No, that's illegal to do, and we're not going to admit that on podcast.
A burn
Anyway.
party.
Where you like burn all your uniforms and stuff like that. Like you burn everything, but that's like technically like property of the government, and I think it's illegal to do that. So maybe
We paid for it.
I've saved mine.
I
in
was.
case I get a gerbil.
Do you know how pissed I was when I got out of boot camp and I realized I had to pay for all of my uniforms? Like, I thought they were just like given to us. No, they took money from our paycheck to pay for our uniforms in boot camp.
anyway. So when I was invited to this podcast, I knew coffee mugs were a thing, so I bought some. Last week, I don't remember what it was, but I bought that one. But this week, it's 100 Acre Woods, and I don't know if you can see it, but it has like I'm gonna spill my coffee everywhere.
Don't spill it on your computer for the love of God.
Oh, it's Winnie the Pooh.
It has like the
I was gonna say I have no idea what that's from. I know now.
But it was like a camping mug, so I thought it was gonna be much smaller and like tin, but this is ceramic, so I just think it was the style of mug. But anyways, that's what I.
Okay.
Would you rather see the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor or the Marines as I drink?
I'd rather just avoid looking at it at all.
I would like to say this is my first time being a woman. I hate this.
First time?
First time. I hate it.
First time being a woman.
I hate it. I hate it. I got it on my I got it on my hydro flask, and it was disgusting. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Lipstick.
I hate it. Okay, anyway, Barry. Mug.
Okay. This is mine.
Yeah, bring it closer. All I see is go fuck yourself, so.
Trying to be
baby steps?
less of an asshole than I was yesterday. Baby steps. Go fuck yourself. Love it.
Can I drink coffee out of a straw?
I mean, physically you can.
Yeah.
Might judge you a little.
I don't want to get lipstick on this fucking mug.
You can wipe it off.
Can't drink like that.
Drink like a dog.
Different kind of podcast, okay? We're here to tell scary things.
Okay. So who's going first? Jess?
Jess is going first.
It's going first, Jess? I guess I'm going first. No, that's right. We talked about it. I definitely knew I was going first. I just forgot.
In the 20 minutes that we've already been talking.
Anyway, I am doing Chillingham Castle in Northumberland, England. If I mispronounce anything, I'm very sorry. I'm not from that area. I will do my best. Okay. So some not boring background. That was really rude of me to say. But, like, some history that might not be exciting for some.
That was rude of me to say to myself.
No, like, to be, like, I don't think your history's boring. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't think your history is boring. It just might not be why you're here. So, just bear with me. Okay.
They're exactly why we're here. We're colonizers.
I don't know what that hair's doing. Okay. So,
You didn't hear that joke.
I haven't got a chance to wake up. It's bad. This is my ADHD.
In case anyone's wondering, we don't record in the morning, and it is very early in the morning because we all have busy days ahead of ourselves.
It's 10:30 in the morning. Not trying to call us out. It's not that early.
It's early.
I mean, it's 9:30 for me. Which is why I have no makeup on.
No. And, like, to be fair, on the weekends, we usually sleep until, like, 11, 12, 1, 4.
Someone who went to bed at 5 in the morning.
All right.
It is early.
Listen, you both knew we had to wake up this early, and you guys didn't go to bed. I was like, peace out at 12. And Tim was like, aren't you guys recording really early? I was like, I was like, I'm going to bed. Because I have to. Otherwise, it turned into.
Well, I hadn't started my research.
Neither had I. I mean, I had, like, I found the websites that I wanted, and I read through them, so I knew, like, everything. I just hadn't, like written it out for me to, like, be prepared. Also, I had a garbage pile, like, this high on my desk, so, like, that needed to be taken care of. So, you know,
rearranged
like,
your desk, too.
I did.
It looked so good. It looked so good. No, it was time worth spending. And, to be fair, you were the first one with the camera on this morning, so props to you. Fucking Mercury, my dudes. Mercury's being a bitch.
No, it is. It is actually Mercury.
I know. And somebody in here doesn't believe it's a thing. Somebody doesn't believe it's a thing, but I believe it's a thing.
I don't believe it's a thing.
Oh, it's 100% a fucking thing. Anyway. Moving on. Okay, so the Chillingham Castle is in Northumberland, England. I'm gonna wade through some history that might not be super exciting, but it's history, so we are gonna go through it. Okay, so it's a medieval castle in the village of Chillingham, thus Chillingham Castle. It's located in the northern part of Northumberland, England. It was the seat of Grey and Bennet, later Earls of Tankerville families, from the 15th century until 1980s, when it became the home of Sir Edward Humphrey Tyrrell Wakefield, 2nd Baronet, who is married to a member of the original Grey family.
I'm sorry, y'all made fun of me for having Bobby has 5 names. What was his name again?
I'm trying to be quiet because we already got off on a retrograde, so I was just trying, but I did make a face.
Edward Humphrey Tyrrell Wakefield, 2nd Baronet, so it's like comma. I think that's his station. I'm really sorry. I should have done a little more research about like.
No, that's okay.
The hierarchy.
I probably wouldn't have understood it anyways.
Okay. The castle was originally a monastery in the late 12th century. In 1298, King Edward stayed at the castle on his way to Scotland to battle the Scottish army led by William Wallace.
William Wallace!
Mm-hmm.
Freedom! You know? You know?
Can't wait for Canada. What? That was like Canadian.
Yeah, you went south on that last part. I don't know where, but
you know?
Easy snack.
Fun fact, a glazed window in a frame was specifically installed for the king, which was a rarity in such buildings at the time. Glazed window.
He needed a glazed window.
Yeah, because he was the king. Anyway.
But how long did he stay there?
Just on his way.
Just on his way, and he needed a whole ass window just put in.
He was the king.
That's a little high maintenance if you ask me.
The castle occupied. Trying to like plunge through this. The castle occupied a strategically important location in medieval times. It was located on the border between 2 feuding nations. It was used as a staging post for the English armies entering Scotland, but was also repeatedly attacked and besieged by the Scottish armies and raiding parties heading south. This site contained a moat, and in some locations, the fortifications were 12 feet thick. At its stage, Chillingham had been the base of kings, played a significant role in the conflict between the nations, and hosted the deaths of thousands in its grounds. By 1982, it was nothing but a ruin. Rune. I can't say this word. I was right the first time? Okay, cool. Chilling beginnings. Chillingham was occupied from prehistoric times. During the Second World War, an impromptu excavation in the castle grounds by a German POW uncovered flint and antler arrowheads and axes dating to the Bronze Age.
So, question, when was the castle built? Did you say? I'm sorry.
Okay. So, the castle was actually built... Oh my gosh, my eye.
It's like you said, you're kind of speeding through it, so, like, my brain is slow.
Did you say what used to be a monastery? What century? It started out as a monastery in the 13th century? So 1200 something?
It's the 1200s.
Okay.
You got a lifetime of knowledge.
And it started out as a monastery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But like so Chillingham is the grounds as well.
Right.
So Chillingham grounds, I guess I should say, was occupied from like prehistoric times. So they found antler arrowheads and axes that they dated back to the Bronze Age.
Now I'm on the same page. Okay.
Sorry, I mean to be fair, it's probably could have been put together a little better. Sorry.
That's okay.
These tools.
Jerry had a question.
Oh, yes.
It's less of a question. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Chillingham.
Chillingham.
Yeah, because every other city or in England that has ham on the end, they always say
Chillingham? Chillingham? Well, that's embarrassing. Can I start over?
They also say herbs instead of herbs. So
herbs, yeah.
They also say Edinburgh, but we're like Edinburgh.
I did a disclaimer at the very beginning that I'm probably gonna botch a lot of pronunciation.
Occurred to me. I just thought
Chilling. Oh, no, I'll go for it.
I'll
Chillingham.
shut my whore mouth then.
Okay.
You struck again.
I was just saying how we don't swear a lot in our podcast.
Yeah, the fuck we do.
Throw that out the window.
My coffee mug has a cuss word on it.
Meanwhile, mine has Winnie the fucking Pooh. So
Mercury is in retrograde.
Good soup.
Try this paragraph one more fucking time. Chillingham was also occupied in prehistoric times. During the Second World War, an impromptu excavation in the castle grounds by a German prisoner of war uncovered flint and antler arrowheads and axes that they believed to date back to the Bronze Age. I'm
sorry, why was he digging? like did they just have him out there digging for like disciplinary?
Well, he was a prisoner of war, so I kind of imagine it being like the movie Holes we just watched, where they just had him digging for no reason.
Dig to build character.
Oh my god.
Okay, continue.
We're never gonna get past this paragraph. Okay, they believe that these tools may be evidence of a prehistoric hunting camp, or it could have been an early manifestation of war. But by the Iron Age, local tribes had established a fort in Chillingham on nearby Ross Hill, which overlooks the present castle grounds. So, like, Chillingham is like the grounds kind of thing.
Right.
But they're like, it's been there for a while, and there's been a lot of death around it. By the 1200s, the conflict was increasing along the borders between England and Scotland. Monks had built a house on the land below Ross Hill. This monastery was converted into a fortified manor house with just one tower and a curtained wall. The monarchy placed the new castle in the hands of the Grey family in 1246. The Greys were descendants of the Croys, kin of William the Conqueror. Tasked with holding the border around Chillingham, it was they who turned the manor into a fortress, constructing its dungeons, torture chambers, and battlements. In 1296, the First Scottish War of Independence broke out. That same year, the forces of William Wallace raided Chillingham, burning local women and children alive in a church. However, in 1298, Edward I, aka the Hammer of the Scots, made Chillington his base for a campaign against Scotland. The dungeons began to fill with enemy prisoners, including Scottish women and children, as well as soldiers and spies. Legends say that King Edward personally appointed the man who was to deal with him. John Sage was a baddie. Sage was supposedly a soldier. Why do I say shoulder?
Because you probably grew up saying shoulder. So now your brain is like soldier. I don't think so, bitch. I'm using retrograde.
He is. Who had risen through the ranks to become a lieutenant in Edward's army. When a leg injury forced him to retire from combat, he begged the king to find him a role. So Edward had appointed him the torturer at the Chillingham Castle. Sage was a sadist and hated the Scots. Over 3 years of war, he apparently tortured some 50 prisoners a week. When the world ended, Sage burnt the remaining adult prisoners alive in the grounds of the castle, while their children watched from what is known as Edward's room, or the killing room. Sage later hacked these children to death with an axe still displayed in the castle.
Damn.
They got that axe sitting there.
What?
In all, 7,500 Scottish prisoners died at Chillington. Their bodies were then dumped into its lake.
Wait, why?
Really
why?
big.
Okay, first of all, why did they imprison
Children?
women and children?
Because they didn't give a fuck. This was a time before, like, rules. Like, people, you know what I mean? It was like...
Before the Geneva Convention.
Yeah. Also, side note, if you guys have ever seen the actual Robin Hood, not like Robin Hood Men in Tights that makes fun of the movie, but the actual Robin Hood movie.
The Disney one or no?
No.
The one with Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
One with... Okay. Yeah.
So, it's rumored that that beginning scene of everyone being tortured is Chillingham.
Oh, cool. I mean, kind of sucks for you.
I mean, but it makes sense that, like, because that's what it was. It was basically the base of it was torture. Anyways, all 7,500 Scottish prisoners reputably died in Chillingham, and their bodies were dumped into its lake. John Sage also met his end. 7,000.
And everybody's like, why does Scotland hate the Brit or England? Why do they hate them?
7,000 fit in a lake?
Well, it was over a period of time. They decomposed, you know?
That's the most Gemini shit you've ever said.
Mouths of people just rose it.
How did they fit that many bodies in the lake? No, oh my god, that's a lot of people. How many bodies? Wow, that's a lot of bodies. That must be a big lake. Fucking Dexter ass over here. Oh my god.
They decomposed here.
I straight up thought. I'm fine. I promise.
Oh shit.
I'm crying.
So sorry.
This is not funny.
I mean, listen. I don't think they're gonna mind that we're laughing at it.
I apologize. I wasn't laughing at the bodies. I was laughing at myself for the
wondering how the bodies fit in the
direction
lake.
that I was going.
Okay.
I'll stop being Gemini now.
No, never stop being Gemini. One evening, Sage killed his lover Elisabeth Charlton by strangling her during a sex game on the rack in Chillingham's torture chamber. Fortunately for Sage, Elisabeth's father was a leader of a powerful border Viviers, an outlaw gang who plagued the borders, but were vital to fight against the Scots. To avoid losing this gang to the enemy, Edward the First handed Sage over to justice. He was sentenced to hang at Chillingham, but was torn apart while he still lived. Others would soon join Sage's ghost and those of his victims.
So Sage basically had done to him what he had done to many others. I mean, that's pretty poetic justice. I
think it was probably done a little too quick.
Fucking Gemini.
Probably.
Alright, so spooky things, guys. I actually have ghosts to talk about this week, because last week I didn't.
Holy shit.
Okay, so the most you could go, you can spend time and stay at the Chillingham Castle now. So there are a lot of like different ghosties that appear. The most common one is called the Radiant Boy.
Oh boy.
Several ghosts are known to wander the castle's time-worn interior. The most famous is the Radiant Boy, a childish wraith that's seen in the castle's pink room, whose heart-rending cries of either fear or pain echo through corridors upon the stroke of midnight. In the past, cries always seem to emanate from a spot near where a passage is cut through the 10 feet thick wall.
10 foot thick.
Thought so. Written as feet. 10-foot thick wall into the adjoining tower. As they fade away, a bright halo of light would appear, and the figure of a young boy dressed in blue would approach those sleeping in the room.
What shade of blue?
Later, the bones of a child surrounded by decaying fragments of a blue cloth were found behind this wall. They were given a Christian burial, and thereafter the radiant boy was seen no more until, that is, Sir Humphrey began renting out the room. Some guests have now complained of blue flash that shoots out of the wall in the dead of night. Although they attribute it to an electrical fault, Sir Humphrey, who now owns the house, is quick to point out that there is no electrical wiring in that particular section of wall. So the body in the pink room was reputably dressed in the scraps of blue cloth and showed evidence of having to attempt to scratch his way out of the wall. Whether or not the child died in those exact circumstances described in the legend, it cannot be known, but his wailing speaks of yet more dark goings on within the Chillingham's walls, literal walls.
Is this why you wore blue eyeshadow today?
Yes.
You had no idea that you made that connection.
I hated every part of that story, so, next.
The spirit of Lady Berkeley. Another unique soul that stalks the castle is the spirit of Lady Berkeley, wife of Lord Grey, whose husband ran off with her own sister, Lady Henrietta.
That dog.
Why did I choose all of these? Okay. Lady Berkeley was left abandoned at the castle with only her baby daughter for company. The rustle of her dress is sometimes heard as her invisible revenant sweeps along the rambling corridors, searching for her husband and leaving a cold chill in her wake. Not to mention, I fucked that up. It's okay. It reads, I wrote all this out last night. Now I'm trying to read over it. It's not working. The rustle of a dress is sometimes heard as her invisible revenant sweeps along the rambling corridors, searching for her husband and leaving a cold chill. Not to mention unsettled witnesses in her ghostly wake. Is a kitten. Okay. The white pantry ghost. In what is called the inner pantry, a frail figure in white steel appears. The silver was stored here, and a footman employed to sleep here and guard it. Historically, one night while a footman had turned into sleep, he was accosted by this lady in white. She was very pale. She begged him for water. Thinking it was one of the castle guests, he turned to obey, and suddenly he remembered he was locked in, and no visitors could have possibly entered the room. The same pale figure is seen today, and his thought for longing for water. The thought for longing for water suggests that she might have been poisoned. So she's like constantly. Ghosts in the chamber. Not all the ghosts are those we see. Some are merely felt as an impalpable impressions on the air. That there's a sense of something unseen yet distinctly moving. It can be a chill, dark, creeping sensation, or maybe just an oppressive atmosphere. Basically, if you stay like in any of the beds that are near the dungeon, it's like really bad.
Why would they have beds near the dungeon?
Well, it's not a dungeon
I'll
anymore.
take a sleeping bag to the dungeon.
Also, there's voices of the chapel beside the Great Hall. Voices of two men are often heard just talking. It is never possible to follow their words, and also they stop talking if one makes serious efforts to trace them. And then when the moonlight casts shadows over the battlements across the worn flagstones in the courtyard, it's positively hard not to see the shades and shadows coming to life. It's just supposed to be the most haunted place, like, in that island.
Island.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Nice.
It's spooky. Yeah, a lot of people died there. It's really, I included a lot of, I mean, it looks really pretty, as horrible as that sounds.
I want to go, camp out on the rack. That sounds fun.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
The dead body.
Yeah, sleeping bag.
Okay.
That's fine.
I wonder if the dead body's still there. Probably removed it.
It's probably fake.
Oh, don't break the illusion like that.
It's probably not real.
I wonder if
I'll just
it's
scoot it over.
They just left a body decomposing in the face.
just cuddle with Sage's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. I don't ex-girlfriend.
Lover. And that's
Girlfriend.
it. Wasn't
weren't
noted
married.
that they were serious. So
Neither are boyfriends and girlfriends.
I was serious when I dated him.
You didn't start dating him after. This isn't married at first sight. The fuck?
I'm just saying the text said lovers, didn't say girlfriend.
An old-timey, romanticized way of saying girlfriend and boyfriend.
Girlfriend and boyfriend right now.
Saying
Girlfriend and boyfriend eventually. Anyway, that's me. I could sit here and eat my pie.
Skeeter, do you want to go next or do you want me to go next?
Doesn't matter. Rock,
Okay.
paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, fucking A. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
God damn it. Every time. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of following a theme now of trying to convince you guys that everything is bullshit. So,
Wait. Okay. Okay.
so I'm doing mine on a person.
Oh boy.
So, have you guys ever heard of the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose? Okay. That
But that's not the name of the actual person that it was done on, was it?
I don't know if you let me finish my fucking sentence. This movie was based off of the life of Anneliese Michel.
Okay, yeah, so I've never watched the movie, but I've heard podcasts on it.
Okay. So, Elisabeth Anneliese Michel was, she was from Germany. She was born on September 21st, 1952. At the age of 16, she was diagnosed with psychosis caused by temporal lobe epilepsy because she had had a seizure. Temporal lobe epilepsy is a chronic disorder of the nervous system, and it's the most common form of epilepsy with focal seizure, which is like a partial seizure. But the seizures can progress to full seizures. They're caused by many things, including head injury, brain infections, seizures, structural lesions in the brain, or unknown onset. I just want to say that the brain is the part of the body that doctors know the least about, so don't go thinking anything supernatural when you hear unknown onset, okay? It's just because we don't know a lot about the brain, all right? She was also diagnosed with depression. By the age of 20, she began to hear voices and allegedly became intolerant of religious objects. Even with medication, her condition got worse. After 5 years with medication, her family and her became convinced that she was possessed. Now, they were a very strict religious family, so keep that in mind. Take this with a grain of salt, all right? They requested an exorcism and were turned down. And this is for everybody who doesn't know. You actually have to request to have an exorcism performed by the Catholic Church. They control everything, and if they have to have it based off of like proof and stuff. So if any of you didn't know that, now you do.
And a lot of them definitely don't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It depends on your local bishop. Your local FBI office. Okay. So I wanted to talk about her medication, which she started at the age of 16. She was taking Dilantin, which is for it's an anti-convulsion medicine, which she had never taken before. The same month, she was prescribed Alept, which is an anti-seizure and mood stabilizer. And it's similar to a different medication that is used to treat schizophrenia. Okay. So the Alept is similar to a different medication that is used to treat schizophrenia. So keep that in mind. Tegretol, this drug was she was prescribed this drug, but she would like rarely take it. Like she was prescribed, I think it was like 3 pills a day. Sometimes she would take less than that. Sometimes she would take more than that based off of like how much she had available. So if she was running low on her medication, or she like would miss doses, or like she ran out of the medication because she was like taking too little or too much, she would make up her missed doses when she got her prescription refilled. That's not at all how this works.
No.
That's not how it works at all.
Only with birth control.
But, you know,
What?
this is the 60s, 70s.
I don't think it works that way at all.
But yeah, so sometimes she would take less than what she was prescribed, and sometimes she would take more, and sometimes she would go days without taking it. Now, if this were actually the case, then this could definitely explain her rapid decline in behavior and her mental state. Because this, even with like the mood stabilizer and the anticonvulsion medication like combined, this was the most important medication, and she wasn't taking it. And so her brain was basically at war with itself.
And that one was the one for schizophrenia?
No. That's the Alept, which was that the Dilantin and the Alept were prescribed to her the same month.
Okay.
One was the anticonvulsion and one was the mood stabilizer.
Okay.
And then the Tegretol was another drug that she was prescribed.
So would she...
Which was, it's an antipsychotic, I think.
So was she abusing all of them, and that's what they think led to this?
No.
Or which one was she using?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't taking all of them at the exact same, like, you know, intervals or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dilantin and the Alept she was doing the exact same thing with. But the Tegretol was the one that was actually changing the chemistry in her brain. It was the most important one.
Okay.
And if she was not taking it correctly, then it would have been the one that would have affected her mental state the most.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, Anneliese was aggressive. She, her physical health was declining. She would self-harm. She would eat bugs. And she would even drink her own urine.
Oh. That went downhill so quickly, I was not prepared. Yeah.
So she finally got approval from the church. The bishop, their local bishop, or local FBI office, the bishop finally was like, all right, fuck it, fine, whatever. Give her an exorcism. So she had her first of 67 exorcisms on September 24th, 1975. She would stop eating by the end of it. She would request to see doctors, and her family refused and relied on the exorcism rites to help her. The exorcism sessions would last up to 4 hours and would occur 1 or 2 times a week, and this would last for 10 months. This is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Anneliese died on July 1st, 1976, due to dehydration and malnutrition. She was in a semi-starved state for almost a year. 10 months of these exorcism rites, and they weren't feeding her, and they weren't giving her medical treatment. Her knees, during her autopsy, were noticed to be broken, and this was from the continuous bowing or kneeling in prayer. She also contracted pneumonia and could not move on her own. She needed help moving. When she died, she weighed 68 pounds, which is 30 kilos for you UK peeps.
You were nice for doing that conversion. I did not do any conversion. Sorry.
She was 23 years old when she died. Her parents and the priests were charged with negligent homicide and received suspended prison sentences. They didn't actually really spend any time in prison. Only about 6 months did they spend in prison. The church paid for the parents' lawyer, and also the bishop who approved the exorcisms in the first place, their local bishop, would not testify. He would refuse to testify and said he did not know of her, quote, alarming health conditions when he approved of it. So that's kind of the end of the story, but the last note that I have here is that the demons or whatever basically would argue with each other during these exorcisms, and they would include Lucifer, Cain, Judas Iscariot, Belial, Legion, Hitler, Nero, among others. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. The only thing I will say, all of these figures are historical or biblical figures, which Anneliese would be very aware of due to her strict religious and upbringing and the time period that she was born. This would have all been things that she would have known. So I think that this is like the most obvious case of misdiagnosed psychosis. But it was a great movie. So
are there any other claims of what was happening during the exercises? Like, was she crawling on the roof or like, oh.
No. It's impossible to do that. Unless you're Spider-Man. I believe in Spider-Man before I believe in fucking possession.
Ghosts.
But you know, and the priest who did the exorcism, he brought in another priest, but swore him to secrecy. So basically, all of the records of what actually happened during the exorcist rites is really unknown because they kept it very tightly under wraps. And considering that this turned into a lawsuit, I wouldn't be surprised that if the Catholic Church literally just like threw all of the information into the fire, because that's what they tend to do. So, and also, it wasn't clear from what I was reading whether she was requesting medical treatment or her parents wanted to give her medical treatment, but the priest told them not to. Somewhere along that, either the priest told the parents, stop looking at doctors, this is God's work, or Anneliese was like, please get me help, and her parents were like, God will help you, we'll pray for you. Get on your broken knees, bitch. Like, so fucked. Anyways, that's my possession.
Well, yeah. I don't think that's the same one that I heard about, because there's a lot more.
You're probably thinking of The Exorcist. There's the exorcism of Emily Rose, and there's The Exorcist.
So I guess it's my turn. Okay, so I decided to when I was like trying to make a list of all the places that I wanted to do, I wanted to for sure do a place in Savannah, Georgia, because not only is it a gorgeous historical city, it's very old. There's a lot of history there. It's so beautiful there.
I would literally, when I was in college, I was like, I'm moving to Savannah. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going there. I went to New York.
I might be the only person that struggles with this, but I always get Savannah and Albuquerque mixed up as far as like looks go. So
I've never seen.
Stuck on that. It's desert. It's nothing. It's like, think of like.
It looks like a Savannah.
This is like Savannah, Georgia is like.
I know.
Very green and historical and like think southern plantation like homes.
I think what happens is I think of the word Savannah, which makes me think of Sahara, which makes me think of desert, which makes me think of Albuquerque.
And that's how Jerry's brain works.
Actually, when I graduated boot camp, my mom and my stepdad flew out, and we spent an extra week down there because we went to a NASCAR race in like Charlotte, North Carolina or something. And then we were like an hour and a half away from Savannah, so we drove down to Savannah and like took like a bus tour of the city. It was so pretty. I fell in love instantly. But yeah, so I wanted to do something there, and I found the Hamilton Turner Inn. So the Hamilton Turner Inn is a historic mansion located in Savannah, Georgia. It was built in 1873 by Samuel Hugh Hamilton, and he built it for his family to reside in. Before he built the house, Samuel was a naval officer, and he resigned and became a Confederate officer during the Civil War. While in the Navy, Samuel married his first wife, Emma Sprague, and had 2 children. After the war, he moved to Savannah and established a watch and jewelry store. So he like left the Navy to like move to Savannah and open a jewelry store, basically. Unfortunately, that same year, his first wife died to some kind of disease. In different sources, it was different diseases like typhoid, cholera. It was also said one of his...
Very common.
Yeah. It was also said one of his daughters died. But that's not confirmed, so maybe... I don't know. 4 years later, in 1866, Hamilton remarried. He married Sarah Stillings, who happened to be his brother's widow.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, no, that's actually a thing.
No, I know. It's like, especially
Back,
like,
yeah.
I just
Back in
wanna
those
keep
days, it was like marrying your husband's widow was like basically like saying you'll take care of them.
Yeah. I mean, it happened in The Patriot, so I guess.
I don't know if you guys have watched Outlander, but the bad guy from that movie or that TV show / book series, books are better. But he the bad guy married his dead brother's widow to make sure she was taken care of for the rest of her life. It was very common.
Yeah.
So it's gross, but you know, whatever.
So he had 2 kids, she had 2 kids from the previous marriage, and then they would go on to have 2 more kids, so it was 6 kids in total, give or take if the one died with the mother. I don't know. So they continued to grow their family and would go on to build their mansion. So Hamilton loved to party, basically. He hosted.
We like to party.
He hosted many events in his mansion, and he was known as Lord of Lafayette Square. Yeah, I don't know.
That's actually kind of a dope. You guys start that.
So Hamilton was very popular, and he served on many like community boards and stuff like that, which led him to have many connections. One of those connections being with the local light and electricity company, which was very new. And because of this connection, it allowed him to add electricity to his home. So the mansion became the first residence in the city to have power in 1883.
That's pretty dope.
In 1886, Hamilton became the president of the electric company and sold his jewelry store to concentrate on his new role, to put his focus into the electric company. This also allowed him to install basically electricity in every single room in the house. So I'm assuming they just had it in like the main areas, and then once he became president, then he was able to put it throughout the whole house.
I can't think of anything but like the grandma from
Right?
Downton Abbey where
Yeah,
she's like,
it's like, oh god, it's so bright. Oh god, why you have to have these blessed?
Why do you have?
Yes, so 100%.
Also, I just would like to say, I would like to imagine him like still making jewelry at like a crafting station, like as a hobby, like making like jewelry for his wife with like a glue gun and like.
Oh
I
my
don't know
goodness.
I don't know about anything about making jewelry, but no, I used a glue gun for a lot of stuff.
Honestly, I don't think he
Those are
made
fun.
it. I think he just like bought and sold.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking.
I still like the crafting station idea.
So in 1898, the mansion's. Oh, okay. So basically, in 1898, there was a major fire that was going throughout the city. And because of the mansion's strong workmanship and quality materials, it basically helped the home resist most of the fire. So,
Damn.
in one source, it said the ceiling or like the roof caused it not to have like completely go up in flames. I don't know. Either way, it was mostly spared from the fire that happened.
Oh.
So now we're going on to the next owner.
Did they die?
Yes. So
The fire?
Dr.
No,
Francis.
not in the fire.
No, not in the fire. No.
The house was spared.
Yeah.
I have a spare house.
Basically after that, there's like no information on the family, so they must have just like lived a continuously quiet life or whatever. Besides
Or they
their
just all died of
spectacular
typhoid.
parties.
I like to party.
Like, I know that people talk about like how like the whalebone corsets like bruised or whatever, but like I kind of I want to wear a really big dress,
Me too.
like go to a big ball party and dance around. And...
like a masquerade ball and fucking period clothing. Oh my god,
Yes,
I love it.
right?
Jerry would be like,
Look around, there's another one.
Jerry, I feel like would dress up in like the men's clothing. Like
Oh,
there's
would you dance with us?
yeah.
Of course, baby. I would wear like a suit with just like an exposed.
Alright, so the next person to inhabit the mansion was Dr. Francis Turner. So years after Hamilton's death, Dr. Francis Turner bought the home as a personal residence. Though the family, after a few years, temporarily...
It looks like a bird! It looks like a bird with feathers!
So it's like...
No, but it looks like a bird, like a little like beak, and like the feathers are pluming around it.
Sorry.
Are you two done?
Mom!
Listen,
Probably
this
not.
is just payback, okay? This is what I had to deal with.
Okay, so... years after Hamilton's death, Dr. Francis Turner bought the home as a personal residence. Though a few years after they purchased, the family temporarily moved out and it became a boarding house. They even hosted the Marine Hospital nurses for a time period. But eventually the family moved back in and the doctor would examine his patients in the home as well. It was said that he would examine the patients in the courtyard, which I found a little odd. Like,
Almost like having
It probably just wasn't space.
a library in the courtyard with no
Probably.
roof
I
or
don't-
something, you know?
it is also...
I've seen Downton Abbey. I know what's up.
So, it is also rumored that the doctor performed autopsy in the house. It's not confirmed. That's why I said rumor. In 1965, the Turner family sold the home to the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. The church, or like the first officials at the church, wanted to tear it down to build a playground for like their school or whatever the fuck they had. But the Historic Savannah Association saved the property from destruction. basically they argued with the church for years to not let this home be destroyed. The mansion was then used as an apartment building. It was also vacant for a time, and then sold to the current owners, who turned it into a glorious inn, the glorious inn that it is today. So, hauntings.
So, see, I wouldn't mind staying at this house. It's a glorious inn. Like, I'm not gonna go
let
to,
me
like...
read the first thing. Creepy billiard room.
Right, well, I would just stay away from the billiard. I'm really bad at pool.
The first place that I'm going to talk about is creepy billiard room. So, also, basically, the Turner family threw a bunch of parties too. This is basically the party house.
Still think we should.
So, during the many parties the Turner family threw, the children would be upstairs in the billiard room while the grown-ups were downstairs doing their thing. But as with all children, they become curious as to what the adults were doing. So the children devised a clever plan to kind of like spy on what their parents were doing. So they would roll the billiard balls down the stairs. So they would take a ball and like roll it down the stairs, like push it down the stairs, saying,
"That's how you get chipped balls."
Saying it was an accident, run down the stairs, pick up the ball, be like, "What you doing?" And then like run back up.
Oh my god.
Meanwhile,
I would have just dug a tunnel and like made a peephole.
But it is said what?
Tunnel at a house?
Yeah.
There's
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Anyways,
so
run back up.
But it is said one evening that a little girl tried doing this. So she tried taking the ball, and somehow she got too close to the edge and she fell and tumbled down the stairs, breaking her neck, some say, and later died the same evening.
Not funny, Ed.
Mm-hmm. I'm not laughing.
One source said it was also one of the Turner's children, but that's not confirmed. So that's why I said it was just a little girl, because that's basically all the information that we had. So today, there are no billiard tables in the home, but the balls can still be heard rolling down the stairs. The balls are also heard rolling about, like just the upstairs. I'll hear them like rolling across the floor. And also like the clanking of balls can be heard. So like when you break the balls or whatever, like that can be heard. Other guests who have claimed to have heard children also running and laughing upstairs, and they hear footsteps like sneaking down the stairs, basically. So yeah, that's the billiard.
You're still laughing at the fact of watching a little girl tumble down the stairs head over heels.
No, it just really snowballed into a whole different thought as she continued, but I'm trying not to interrupt.
Well, what's your thought now that I'm done with the billiard room?
Okay, so there's a couple different thoughts going on.
Oh my god. Sure you want to open up this?
Turns out I don't have to watch videos of kids getting hurt to find it funny. I'm just saying. Like, I know it's sad, you know, whatever. Like,
She
died.
But also at the same time.
She died. She's dead.
Yeah, but can you imagine how funny it would be to just like... I know that she fell off the edge, but I'm just picturing her just like falling down the stairs.
No, it is said that she like tumbled down the stairs, not that she like fell off the edge.
That's okay. Anyways, I need to move past that because people are gonna like think that I'm
Something's
danger
wrong.
to society.
Yeah.
So, and then when you were talking about the pool balls upstairs, And I'm just picturing all these, like, stupid idiot ghost children playing dodgeball with these fucking cue balls. Because I don't know. This is why I didn't interrupt!
Your brain's so special.
I know.
Okay. Next room.
So the next thing I'm gonna talk about is cigar ghost. Many guests.
Cigar goats?
Ghost.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Cigar ghosts.
I was like, why are we bringing goats into this?
So many guests and employees have seen a cigar smoking ghost around the property. He is sometimes spotted standing guard near the door, perched atop the roof, or quietly overseeing the hotel's activities. There are a couple of different theories of who this guard is. It is said that because Hamilton had amassed an extensive and valuable collection of artwork from all over the world, he hired a guard to watch over the house. And basically he would like patrol the rooftop, like make sure nobody shady was like getting close to the house. But it is said one evening he was found shot to death on the roof, and a half-burnt cigar was laying next to him. To this day, the murder is still unsolved. And then when the guard was obviously murdered, Hamilton took over watch of his own house, and they both supposedly smoked cigars. Others believe the house was built over an old cemetery, leading many to theorize that the cigar-smoking ghost is a Confederate soldier. True. Other claims are, back when the home was vacant, it was reported that gunshots could be heard coming from the empty house. And, like, there would be no one there. So, that's strange. Many guests have reported laying in bed and hearing footsteps coming towards them in the bed. But when they opened their eyes, there would be no one there.
I mean, if we ever do this, like, haunted tour, going to live places, stay places, I will be sleeping in one of your beds. I'm just letting you know that.
We will all be sleeping in the same bed.
Okay, good. I just hope you're okay with snuggles, because I'm going to be sleeping with you. Like, it's not gonna be, like, I'm not sleeping by myself. What?
Jerry will sleep on the floor.
You guys force me to even sleep in the same room as you. I'm gonna wait till both of you are asleep and do everything to make you guys think that it's haunted. Just saying. Let me have my own room.
That's why I wanted to get
I mean, if you're cool with me sleeping naked, it's fine.
Okay.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Also, those
I want
that have
tacos now. Sorry.
Immediately, as soon as Skeeter starts talking, interrupted. Your broadcast has been interrupted for tacos.
Also, those that have been in the inn have said they feel a mysterious presence or an eerie chill. Random last fact that I thought was interesting. The mansion was rumored to be the early inspiration behind Walt Disney's Haunted Mansion. Like the ride. Apparently, Walt Disney was scouting an island off the Savannah, Georgia, to build Disney World. But it was too small. But it is said that Walt Disney was at the mansion, and he sat on the porch of the mansion and drew up like the inspiration for the haunted house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's just a rumor. There's no fact to it.
I will confirm in 3 weeks when I go.
Retrograde.
But Both mansions have the exact same fountain outside the homes. So.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
That's my story.
Are you sending a picture of the fountain?
No, because I haven't got pictures yet.
I got my pictures in. I got my sources ready.
Bro,
Okay, but you had what, 5 paragraphs?
What?
I said, but what, you had like 5 paragraphs?
Oh, mine was long.
I think that mine.
It was 2 pages and a half.
Half a page.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, it's
6 pages.
1 page.
Yeah, but see, like, I don't do well using my brain. Like, I have to write stuff down.
Yeah, so that's all I could basically get. Oh, another fact is that Turner didn't like gas automobiles. He didn't like the fumes, so he was one of the first people to have an electric car. But I thought that didn't really have anything to do with the house, so I just skipped that. But, you know, there's a little tidbit for you.
It was just another iteration of Downton Abbey, Grandma. It's fine. Listen, my brain has different thoughts so fast all the time, and not all of them are great. So.
Your brain's awesome.
It is.
Do you want it? Please.
Yeah.
Want to trade?
That actually would be a really good sound clip because it was creepy. That cut out.
It's fine.
Why is my mic cutting? I'm like right next to you.
Click the button, like and subscribe. Do it.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us during our 3rd spooky sessions. It was a lot of fun. We still have 2 more left. So exciting.
Oh, we do have 2 left. I was gonna ask how many we have left because I have 1 plan for 1, and I was thinking about another one, but I want to run it by again.
Yeah, so we have 2 left. I hope you guys, if you guys are enjoying, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, comment,
what you want to see,
what you want to see us talk about.
Comment what you want us to talk about, what you want to see, what you want to do, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How you doing? You know. Anyways. Step away from the microphone.
So yeah, check everybody out on Twitch. We stream and we cause chaos almost every other day. One of us is streaming, so don't forget to check us out. Hope you have a lovely night, day, weekend whenever you're watching this. And goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Subscribe.
You gonna say goodbye, Derry, or just like?
I did.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. My mic picked it up. You know.
Bye.
Okay.
Also,
I decided
still
to
doing
wear
an audio, right?
Yes, please.
a costume.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I'm an English professor.
I was gonna. Are you Albert Einstein? Hold on. Where's your British accent?
I got no British accent.
God, as you get closer, it gets better.
I think I should turn the brightness on my camera down just a bit.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. I mean, I'm probably not gonna leave these on.
Because of the glare, yeah.
Actually, yeah. There we go.
You know what's really funny is the thing that I'm talking about's in England today. So it's like we coordinated.
I'm not British.
She's
Oh.
just English.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's English, professor. I'm doing an English thing.
Not from England. Like, she teaches English.
I'm gonna send this
Oh.
through my fucking monitor. I swear to God.
Oh, like in English, like you teach English, not like you're an English teacher.
I love how we both thought that at first, and then I got it right away when she said English.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, cool, that's awesome.
Grandpa Beyonce.
Yes, twerk it.
Wait, I gotta.
Oh, God. Okay, bye.